is real? It's all very well and good saying it on your own, but what if you say it to Professor Richard Dawkins? Hello there, you 6.4 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom. Within you, there is a great light. If you cultivate that light, it will change your reality. Can you overcome the system of self? Can you access a greater power than the individual light that's been guiding you thus far and could amount to little more than egocentric self-obsession? I don't know, Russell. What do you think? Let me know in the chat and the comments. I spoke to Richard Dawkins, the world's most devout atheist. It was a fantastic conversation about God, numinism, that's an awareness of a deep awe and a potential haunting of nature by a spirit that is unknowable and unmeasurable. How the pandemic was influenced by the new orthodoxy of science. It's a fantastic conversation. You can see it in full on Rumble, but you can have a look at some of the best bits right now.
Because actually I'm like deeply religious. I'm obsessed with religion. I'm obsessed with the unknowable. I'm obsessed with the mystery.
I'm obsessed with the unknowable, but that's the scientific unknowable. Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
go on.
And you similarly seem to be trying to derive from it some ethos, some ethics, some way that we might live. I know that I'm so what do I want to say, incredibly grateful to you for your rigor, for your work, for your fortitude, for your willingness to endure, I imagine, many difficult and challenging conversations, and it must have been incredibly difficult to create the body of work that you've created. But where I'm, it does seem to me that you are almost determined to arrive at a materialistic outcome with the kind of zeal that one might attribute typically to someone of a particular religious persuasion, in the same manner that I am determined to believe in God, in the same way that I lean into Joseph Campbell's observation when watching a vine wind its way across a trellis, that it appears to be moving to the warmth, that there is, and as you say, these patterns only appear to be like intelligence, but I feel that is a matter of perspective. And like an argument that you must have batted off 1,000 times, the strawberryness of a strawberry can never be understood. And indeed, that is the poetry, the poetry that science can never approach. The reason that poetry is required, the reason that scripture is required, is when it comes to the most important matters in our life: death, grief, joy, loss, love, heartbreak. What use is it, Professor, to turn to, well, this is the endocrinal outcome and this is what we imagine has happened neurologically? I mean, I love it and I'm fascinated by it and it's beautiful and I'm grateful for it, but I feel like it exists here in this territory, and over here we have access to something that might never be measured, or might be measured. Perhaps one day we will have the tools. But I can imagine that they will be so refined and so glorious. And I have this faith that they are going to lead us to unity and love. And if I can, because I saw that you got a bit irritated when I used that word love, I wonder this. Tell me what you think. This is just a personal theory. I'm glad I've got the opportunity to run it by you. I wonder if love is the sort of felt understanding of unity, a kind of sense that I have a duty to a child, or a sense that I have an affinity with another, that love implies duty, that it implies connection, that separateness, the idea that I am this separate biological entity, is temporal and spatial and an animalistic interpretation of a narrow strata of reality, which can never really be measured because we don't have the instruments. We don't have the bandwidth, but we can intuit it, that we sense it, that this is the job of the shaman, the job of the priest, the job of the mystic, the realm of the psychoactive and psychedelic experience, that these are not just fluctuations and the flatulence of a busy mind, that there is something here that is vital. And I wonder how you approach those questions in yourself, and where it leaves you with regard to the joy and the grief and the stuff I said an hour and a half ago at the beginning of the question.
I never had a psychoactic experience, in which case I'm obviously deficient. I understand what's meant by words like love and empathy, and they mean a lot to me on a personal point of view, a personal level. I don't get mystical about it.
Why?
Because I'm a materialist, because I think science will or can explain everything, and if it can't, nothing else can. I said that before. But that doesn't demean it, that doesn't reduce, that doesn't in any way minify the importance of love. Love is deeply important to me, but I don't get mystical about it.
You don't sense yourself being at the edge of what it's possible to understand.
Oh, I think I'd sense that, yes. But then I feel the urge to try to understand it at a scientific level. There's much of physics I don't understand. And when I talk to physicists, I feel awed and wish I understood better. So there are plenty of things I don't understand. I feel I'm on the edge of understanding things. Yes, I feel that.
I wonder then if awe might have I mean, of course it must, a biochemical component that one might, with the right instrument, be able to measure and observe the impact of the numinous. But there will always be an ulterior imprimatur, in the same manner that we've dealt at once with atoms and then electrons and then bosons, quarks, and whatever that was. Like that, it appears that we can never reliably say, this is the genesis. And I what am I trying to say to you? I'm trying to say that I don't know what I'm trying to say. See if there's I think I said some quite good things there.
You keep using the word numinous, and I'm curious what you mean by it.
Well, I like C.S. Lewis's description of it. He goes, if I told you that there was a tiger in the next room, you would feel afraid. And if I told you there was a ghost in the next room and you believed it, you would also feel afraid, but not afraid in the same way that you would be afraid of a tiger. But oh no, what's this ghost going to do? No one cares what a ghost is going to do, like in Scooby-Doo. But you are aware that your understanding of reality is glitching and twitching and being challenged. He then said, imagine if I were to say there is a mighty spirit in the room next to you. You might feel yourself on the edge of something. And as Shakespeare said, and here my genius is rebuked. That the knowledge that there is a great power, and I don't feel that we're at odds by perceiving it in nature or fetishizing its particular understanding over what it somehow suggests at its root. I feel that in a sense we're talking about the same thing, but I suppose what I'm trying to draw from it or extract from it is the possibility that there is something in religious thought that is valuable culturally and necessary, in fact, and that if we allow science to encroach continually upon that territory, what will happen is that this materialism is a word that's come up several times, that materialism does lead to, because it has led to, and this is where we are, a kind of, what do I want to say, a grimly metastasized capitalism where all that matters is that which can be measured. And in science, all that matters is that which can be measured. Of course, that makes perfect sense. No other science would be of any value. Of course, conjecture will exist there. But in the establishment of a society, in the establishment of a culture, in the establishment of a family, if all that matters is that which can be measured, you will get individualistic, materialistic, ultimately nihilistic, pious, moralizing, but oddly unforgiving cultures with no real values. We are seeing it. And I think, and my belief is that we need to reintroduce the mystery. And I don't want it to be just like some sort of mad dogma or some stupid thing that's used to make people feel bad about the way they are or who they have sex with or something. I want it to be something that makes people be able to endure and love, and I feel that we need it. Indeed, it is a scientific endeavor because I believe people require it. The results are everything.
I know what a tiger is. I have no idea what a great spirit is. And so I would not be impressed if you said there was a great spirit in the room next door. I would want to know what it was. When you come on to equating a scientific materialistic worldview with materialism in the other sense, materialism in the sense of a cheap sort of economically only caring about money and selfishness and things. I don't own that. I don't approve of that. I don't feel that science, that should be laid at science's door. Science is bigger than that, more important than that. I think it's disingenuous to suggest that the only escape from materialism in the demeaning sense, in the economic sense, is religion. I think religion is relatively unequipped, too small to deal with these big problems that we're dealing with.
Beyond the coincidence of the shared semantic term, I feel that there is a corollary between materialism in the two senses, because I feel that secular, let's not beat about the bush here, secularism is predicated on the idea that the abiding and dominant idea now is that the state is the ultimate authority.
Nothing to do with it. What's got to do with the state?
What got to do with the state?
Why would you equate materialism with the state having authority?
Secularism. And I'm saying that secularism, like
secularism, yes.
Yeah, I say that secularism. We have to separate church and state. We have to get religion out the bloody way and let the business of the state be the business of the state. But somehow man worships. Even, and I'm sure for you this might be somewhat hackneyed, but you're pretty evangelical and zealous and pretty devout, and those things, regardless of the object, they're interesting sort of qualities to have as a person. Anyway, my point is this: that materialism can lead to secularism. All that matters is that's what we can measure and what's rational. Let's get this hocus pocus crap out of the way build and build a lovely state. Right, now let's get on with putting poor people in jail.
No, come on.
No, it is, Richard. That's what's happening.
Well, it may be happening, but it's nothing to do with it. I mean, it's nothing to do with secularism.
Okay, we can certainly disagree on that. I mean, of course we can.
Certainly would.
I know,
yes.
I know, we can. I'm not arguing with you.
Yes, okay, yeah.
What I'm saying is that perhaps a way of change, like I feel that, do you feel that society's in trouble?
Maybe I do.
Yeah.
Yes. But
right.
So
what do you think the answer is?
Well, not religion.
Well, I do.
Okay, I know
so we're
you
going to
do.
have to somehow get along.
Well, let me know in the comments and chat what you thought of that. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at either of these. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe. Remember, we're available every day on Rumble. More important than any of that is that you please stay free.